Hello, I'm Jay, owner of Volunteer Audio in Oliver Springs, Tennessee, and today I'm making a video doing an unboxing of the new Soundstream Reserve V2 radio. Check it out. All right, so I'm going to unbox this new Soundstream Reserve V2 radio. I'm going to show you all the parts that come in it, so you'll know what you're going to get and what you might need to add that doesn't come with it. All right, first, let's open it up. We're going to see in the top, we have a bag. That bag has a slight kind of version of an owner's manual. So this is going to be the installation guide. It's going to show you a little bit about how to put it in your bike, but if you want the owner's manual on how to work the radio, you're going to scan the QR code at the bottom of the page. That's going to redirect you to motorcycleaudio.com to that correct owner's manual. Next in here, we have our harness. Now this particular V2 is one bought from Volunteer Audio. When you buy from Volunteer Audio, you're going to get your iDataLink Maestro module already in the box, already plugged into the harness, just like you see here, and already programmed to your bike. Now if you're to buy this radio elsewhere, you're probably not going to get these things already put together. You're going to get a box that's separate, and then you're going to get your radio. You're going to have to learn how to program it, plug it in, make sure everything's in the right place. Also, when you're plugging in your harness, there are a lot of ports that are the same exact connector. So we make sure and plug them into the right place so that you don't plug them into the wrong place and have to call tech support. Next up, we've got a bag. Let's see what's in this bag. All right, first off, we have a GPS antenna. Now understand that when you buy one of these, we're not sure if you have a factory GPS antenna. You could have the 4.3 boom radio, or maybe you had the 6.5 GT and you already changed it and took that antenna out. So Soundstream is going to include a new GPS antenna. You can also use the stock antenna. If it's already in your fairing, you can use it. All right, we're going to have this USB-A to USB-C connector. It actually says ADS on it. This comes from iDataLink. It's part of the Maestro, not part of the Soundstream. That's for any future updates if you want to plug it into a computer. Next up, we have an external microphone. All right, so our external microphone is also going to come with a couple sticky pads so we can stick it on the inner part of our fairing. Now this is a requirement from any radio that has Apple CarPlay that's actually certified that they give you an external mic. Now understand with our V2 radio, V2 is going to have built-in wireless headset capability. So you can hook up your Sena or Cardo headset as well as any Bluetooth in-ear. I would much rather try to use that to talk to our voice assistant or even our friends when they call in than to have this mounted on my fairing. But if you're the type that wants to use every single part, you're going to put this behind the windshield on your inner fairing where the wind is being blocked by that windshield to give people the best chance of hearing you. Last but not least, we've got a little bag. Inside of this bag, looks like we have 4 of these little black bushings. These bushings are going to go on the factory bolts. You'll see they're pre-installed on the factory radio. So you can either use the ones that were in the stock radio or you can add these to your bolts. Just isolates the 2 different types of metal. Stainless bolts, it's an aluminum chassis. They don't do well together. So these are going to go on those bolts and isolate it. Let's see what else we have in our box. Looks like it's very well packed. Plenty of foam all the way around the radio to protect it in shipping. All right, so in this bag, we have our radio. That's the last thing in this box. We'll just go ahead and set the box over to the side. So here we have our radio with our protective film on the screen. After you install it, you're going to want to pull that little tab and remove that. On the back of the radio, we're going to see this is completely sealed all the way around, so it's completely waterproof. This is where you're going to plug in your Maestro module. Right here, it's the factory style connector. We're going to have a blue connector for our GPS antenna, whether it be the factory one or the one that came with the radio. We're going to have a USB connector up just right above it that uses the factory USB port. And then we're going to have our antenna connection for that factory antenna that's in your Harley. We then have 3 sets of RCA outputs, and they're labeled right here on the top, front, rear, and sub. So we have a total of 6 RCAs, 3 pairs there. Next, we have a antenna that's sticking out here. I think that's part of the rally mode system. So rally mode allows you to connect this radio to an infinite number of other people within 330 feet. You could be the DJ or the listener, and somebody, as long as they're designated as the DJ, you're going to be playing the music that they're playing on your radio. So everybody's playing the same music at the same time. Pretty awesome technology. We're also going to have a yellow RCA here. That is a backup camera input. And we're going to have a pink wire that is our camera trigger. So those two go together and are only used if you're installing a backup camera. Next, we're going to have one that says SXM. That's for Sirius XM. So as you see in the box, you do not get a Sirius XM tuner, but it is Sirius XM ready. So if you buy an SXV300 Sirius XM tuner, they're available at volunteeraudio.com. It's going to plug right into this black port. Next, you're going to see we have a little 3.5 millimeter jack. That is where our external microphone is going to plug in if you choose to use it. Now, the only connection I've not went over yet is right here, and this is our USB. This is a charging USB, and it's a high charge USB-C. So you can run this into your storage pocket where your factory USB is. It already has a pre-installed grommet to allow you to run both the factory USB-A and the new USB-C into that pocket. Watch our step-by-step install videos. We'll go over how that goes in. But by using the USB-C port, we now have that really high amperage, high wattage, fast charge for our phone. So we have wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, but if you've run that battery down in the phone and you want to charge it back up, plug straight into this USB-C and you're going to be good to go. All right, so that concludes everything that comes in the box. All right, so again, this was bought from Volunteer Audio. So everything you see in the box, including this iDataLink Maestro module, was bought as a package at volunteeraudio.com. Now, if you do not buy or select an iDataLink Maestro MRR or MRR2, this would not be in the box. You would just have a harness. Hope this answered a lot of questions about what you get. Backup cameras would be sold separate. Sirius XM tuners are sold separate. iDataLink Maestro modules are sold separate. Everything else seems to be here in the box. And I hope this has helped you decide and pick the right parts to complete the install in your Harley Davidson.